What's going on, everybody? It's good to see y'all once again for another episode of the Dark Souls 2 walkthrough. So in this episode, we're going to be fighting some bosses, and we're talking bosses with in-game difficulty level. So we're gonna have lots of fun. First of all, I'm gonna take the Flame Quartz Ring +2 off. We used it when we fought the Ancient Dragon, but I do not need it any longer. And I'm actually gonna throw the King's Ring on in place because we actually have to open a door that was previously locked to us, but is now not because we have the appropriate equipment. So we're going to go to Drangleic Castle. We're going to warp to the King's Gate bonfire. There's a King's Gate door that we can open up that was previously locked to us. And this first boss that we're going to fight is technically, I guess you could call it part of the end game sequence, but we have not yet done enough in the game to actually trigger the ending. And sometimes I think if you don't already have the King's Ring on, this statue will come alive. But we haven't done enough already to trigger the end game. So we're going to fight this boss, and then it's going to kind of stop and not progress towards the ending. So this will not trigger the ending, but there is a reason why we're killing this boss at this point in time, and I'll kind of explain that later. So this boss is actually a dual boss. There's two of them at the same time. So you have to manage the aggro. They start off relatively non-aggressive, but then when they enter their second phase, they buff the weapons and I think become a little bit more aggressive. They're not too bad, but they can be a difficult. They can be difficult if they gang up on you. So you really have to try to divert their attention as best you can. You can summon for this fight. Actually, Ben Hart is available for this fight. However, this fight does not count towards his quest. If you remember, he's the other NPC that we need to summon for three separate boss fights to complete his quest for a trophy. This boss fight does not count, so I'm not going to summon him for this boss fight. There is one later on that does count for him that we can summon him for, so we of course are going to summon him for that one, but not this one, because this one does not count towards his quest. You can also summon the head of Vingarl. And if you want to take a summon in with you, be my guest. I'm not going to, but it can help you even the odds just a little bit since we are going to be fighting against two. One important mechanic that I want to point out here is that they have separate life bars. Each boss has its own life bar. And if you kill one, you're on the clock. You have about 20 or 30 seconds to kill the other one. If you don't kill it in, I forget what the timing is, if it's either 20 or 30 seconds, you don't kill it quickly, it's just going to get revived. And if you don't kill them kind of both relatively close to each other at just about the same time, they're just going to keep reviving each other. So keep that in mind. You want to keep their HP bars kind of declining at a similar rate so you don't kill one while the other one still has full HP. So I'm going to go on and buff up. And then we are going to head on in to the fight. We've got the Throne Watcher and Throne Defender. So you see our attacks are quite potent here. I'm doing quite a bit of damage to his HP bar. One more hit's probably going to kill him, so I'm going to start attacking the Throne Watcher. And before long, they're probably going to start buffing their weapons. So you see there, especially with the damage we're doing, they don't have a ton of HP, which is part of what makes this fight manageable. But you watch out for their combos. They can get you. But they also, for some reason, they also tend to overshoot with their attacks. So we got the Throne Defender down. So now we're on the clock. We got to kill the Throne Watcher soon. Otherwise, the Throne Defender is going to revive. And there is our victory. All right. Very nice. A boss can be tricky. You do have to kind of be mindful about splitting their aggro. And we get their souls as a result. You go on and use the feather to warp back. And now that we've killed them, we can go back to the cartographer and Majula. And his quest is now complete. Which means we can talk to him and get a trophy. So that's what we're going to do next. So remember, he's all the way back here in this mansion back here, kind of in the basement. And killing the Throne Watcher and Throne Defender, if you followed all the steps that we've gone through so far, should fulfill the requirements of his quest line. So we're going to go check in on. Have a nice little chat. So all these little flames are lit now.
Oh, you've made it. Of course. Take a good look. Ah, yes. There is something I want. I was born in the land of Mirror, is also the home of an infamous killer. He was locked in the dungeon for multiple murders. And the other day, I saw a fellow with a stripe. And then, well, I think he looked rather... No, it's true. I saw just... I believe his name was... They shared some resemblance.
So he's talking about Creighton, the person we did his side quest way earlier in the game. Him and Pate were kind of involved in a skirmish. And so we learn a little bit more about Creighton there. He's not such a good guy after all, which is, you know, why we took him out. But
even more flames. I don't know what causes it. It seems that all the... It makes me feel... Wait, who are you again? Fate brought us together for a reason. Take these.
All right, so we get his stuff, including his helm, which if you remember, I believe the NPC, Navlaan, I believe his name is, back at Aldia's Keep. He's looking for that helm as kind of a bounty. So we can return to him now.
That all the... It makes me... Wait, who are you again?
Okay. So now that we've done that, there's one more errand we need to run before returning to Navlaan. We'll level up while we're at it because we got a bunch of souls from killing the boss just now.
Bearer until...
So make sure if you're not already at 20 int, put some levels into intelligence because we're going to need 20 intelligence for what we're doing next. I mentioned several episodes ago that we need 20 int for a side quest, and that's what we're going to do now. As I've got my 20 int, I'm just going to go ahead and pump these levels into vigor and endurance. Now we need to pay our friend Falcon a visit back at the Huntsman's Copse. And Undead Refuge Bonfire. And if you have 20 int and 20 faith, he's going to give you an armor set and a staff. We need that staff for the quest line at Aldia's Keep.
The dark.
Talk to him. All right, so we got the Sunset staff and the Hexer's set.
Till we meet again.
So if you're playing as a Hexer, I think I mentioned the set earlier. Playing as a Hexer, that's a good set and a good staff to use as a Hexer. Let's see. So now we want to go back to Aldia's Keep because we have all that we need to finish the quest. And from his quest line, I don't think we get a trophy directly, but he gives us, as a reward for some of the bounties that we turn in, he gives us spells that we need for the spell-related trophies. So just as important. Unfortunately, if this thing got busted open, it stays busted even after you rest, and the basilisk is always there to greet you. Hopefully you did not pull that lever back there. Do not pull it. If you do, it messes up his quest. And you pretty much have to kill him, otherwise he's going to kill people at Majula.
I haven't said anything. Do not attempt to help me. Just... Please. No, please, don't come near me. Just leave me alone, please. Leave this place.
Oh, you gotta, that's right. You have to be hollow to talk to him. Yeah, I forgot. You gotta be hollow. So, gonna warp back. Let the dogs kill me again. Come on, petrify me, do something. Alright, kill me over here so I can get my souls back easier. Got myself petrified. Now somebody's got to use a fragrant branch of yore on me. Alright. Now he'll talk to us. Rid of the basilisk again. Now he should talk to us.
This is my
All right, get us something spice for that one.
I want you to your target.
Now he wants Falcon.
Proof. What do you say?
In proof, he wants the scepter, which is the staff we just got.
But he will be. This is my. Now.
All right, so Forbidden Sun. That is something that we need. I think it's a pyromancy. We need it for the trophy.
You could kill a dozen like that, and it wouldn't. I want you to kill the good.
Now he wants the Emerald Herald.
Firekeep. That she's a gentle shepherd. Once she is dead, the girl will have a peculiar. Now go on.
Now he wants to see the feather.
Yeah, God, you're.
So we get Unleashed Magic, which is another spell we need.
What do you You've been good to me.
Now, get the Chaos set if we talk to him. And he opens up a shop. You can buy Astrologer set and Black Witch set. Some other stuff. He sells 10 Bonfire Aesthetics, along with a couple spells. We already have those.
Well.
All right, and that's his quest line. Okay, so now, if you guys remember the NPC who was in the wheelchair, Grandal, we've encountered him 3 times in 3 different places. In each place, he has a little circular thing next to him. And there's actually a covenant we can join, and those circular things take us to a new area that we need to get through to fight another boss, which is totally optional. But arguably, I would say this is probably the hardest boss of the base game, which is why I've saved it till later. So there's 3 areas that we need to go to. The first one we're going to go to is in the Black Gulch after the gutter. So we're going to warp to the Hidden Chamber Bonfire. And so you got to beat all 3 of these kind of secret levels, call them that. And then once you beat the 3rd one, the boss appears and you can fight the boss. Now, if you die to the boss, you have to beat kind of that same level again to retry the boss. And it can be a little bit of a lengthy process. And this boss is very tough, but there's a trophy associated with the boss. And as well as the boss's soul is good for a spell that you need for another trophy. So this is trophy related, but if you're just trying to beat the game and get through it, the boss is totally optional. I'm gonna make sure that I got the King's Ring on still. I want to put my, Silver Serpent Ring back on. There we go. All right, so you want to run because these things shoot poison at you. And then after these statues is your spot to drop down. There we go. This is our NPC. You need to talk to him again. Am I being followed? All right, so we need to enter his covenant. And in order to make the portal active, you have to give him a human effigy. And if you die in doing this, you have to give him another human effigy to retry it. So it is possible to run out of human effigies. And if you die to the Darklurker, you got to use another human effigy to reactivate the portal and try the Darklurker again. So just know you can run out of human effigies. If you do, there are places you can buy them. You can buy them from the old lady in Majula. You can buy them from the guy who didn't like torches in the Undead Crypt. You can actually buy some from Grandal. And if you remember outside of McDuff's workshop, there are some dogs. You can actually farm them from those dogs. That's if you run out of human effigies. Hopefully you don't. But you need to use human effigies to activate these. And there's 3 of them. We need to beat all 3. And then the Darklurker just spawns kind of after you beat the 3rd one. And there are no items in here. There are phantoms that you have to defeat. You have to defeat all of the phantoms. Then each of these has like a little cauldron that you have to light. So this guy, you want to use your bow and arrow to lure him up because there's another person behind him. And you don't want to be fighting both of them at the same time. This guy's got dual hammers. Fortunately, he's pretty slow. We're going to fight him very similarly to how we fought others. I was too early on that one, so he caught me. And his pyromancer buddy joined the party prematurely. So now we got rid of him. We can focus on his pyro. That's why I wanted to lure him up by himself. I missed with my bow, though. We're going to give him the same treatment. Watch that stamina, or durability, rather, I should say. All right, dude, stop rolling. Oh, hello. All right. Hammer's at risk. Dang it, and he's not dead yet. If I hit him one more time, he's going to... I need a repair. So I'm going to do that down here. There we go. Got him. I'm gonna heal with the life gem. That item is a drop from the enemy. There are no pickups, I should say, in these areas, but the phantoms themselves can drop things. And you'll notice it's a bit dark in here. You can light a torch, but since we can only two-hand this weapon, we only have the strength to two-hand this weapon. I'm not carrying a torch. There's enough, in my opinion, enough visibility to see. But obviously it's easier to see with a torch. So here, speaking of which, we need to use a flame butterfly. Light this. And the thing is once the cauldron is lit, the cauldron stays lit even if you die. So for example, if we get to the point where we're fighting the Darklurker and we need to retry the Darklurker, we don't need to relight the cauldron. We just need to beat the phantoms to get through this little mini dungeon to retry the Darklurker when we get to that point. And as I said, the Darklurker is tough. In my opinion, probably the toughest boss in the base game. So see how there's a fog wall back there? That fog wall doesn't disappear until all the phantoms are dead. Come on, buddy. There we go. You see the last one? Let's see if the fog disappears. Is there one more? Yep, there's one more. Another pyromancer. Oh, and one of those shadowy dudes down there. So I'm going to bring the pyromancer up here. Come on. Missed. Come on up here, buddy. Oh. Hello. I want you up here, buddy. I want to fight you where your ghastly companion can hit me. Oh. Barely timed that hit correctly. It's almost too early. All right, we're going to have to use another repair here. Because for whatever reason, these phantoms really eat away at your durability more so than regular enemies, I believe. Fortunately, these things are not too difficult. These are way easier than the pyromancers, for example. Only take like 2 hits. And bonfire ascetic, nice. Now the fog should dissipate, unless we're missing one. Are we missing one? We must be missing one. I thought we've killed them all, but let's check. We've been down every path. We've lit the cauldron. Is there one back here? There we go. Another one of these. Easy to miss. Another bonfire aesthetic. So not a bad place to farm bonfire aesthetics if you need them. All right, now the fog's gone. And so to complete the level, drop on down the hole. So if this were the third one, when you drop down the hole, it triggers the boss fight. Okay, so we're done with this one. The next one we're going to do is the one in the shaded woods. And we're back there to the Shaded Ruins bonfire. And the third one's in Drangleic Castle. The reason why I'm saving the Drangleic Castle one for last is because it's the closest one to the bonfire. I mean, it is right next to the bonfire. And so if you need to retry the boss, it's the shortest run back from the bonfire of the three. So remember, we first encountered Grandal over here. There's a hole you drop down. And he will be waiting for us. So again, we got to join his covenant. Well, we're already part of the covenant. We have to give him a human effigy to spawn the portal. Since we beat the first one, our devotion has deepened.
Dark beast, let us see. You have seen what once was a great, but slowly. It is we who will be pilgrims.
All right, we got Resonant Soul as a reward for leveling up the covenant.
The master.
So we're going to give him a human effigy, and he's going to spawn this portal here.
Young undead, as you will.
And it's going to be the same routine. I mean, it's going to be a slightly different layout, different enemies, but still we're going to be lighting the cauldron, beat all the phantoms, and then we drop down the hole at the end. And again, you can use a torch in here to see if you want to see a little bit better. Use the craftsman hammer if you don't have the strength to wield this weapon with one hand, as is my situation. But I feel like I can see just fine, even though it is a little bit dark in here. So I feel confident going without the torch. All right, there's number one. This is a situation where you aggro one and it aggroes both of them, which I'm not a huge fan of. But I guess we get a 2-for-1 special here, which I guess I'm not mad about it. Oh, rolled away. Good for you. All right. Made my life a little bit easier there. So now we have the cauldron right here, but there's a ghostly phantom, ghost phantom. I'll go back and light the cauldron in just a sec. Just got to pull out a flame butterfly. Okay. All right, more enemies. Come on and fight me. There. He's getting hits in, at least. All right, that's enough to get rid of the fog gate. Enemies-wise, this is probably the easiest one. However, it is, I think, the longest walk from the bonfire to get here. All right, 2 down, 1 to go. The last one, as I said, is in Drangleic Castle. And I'm actually going to take off the heal miracle, and I'm going to put on... I'll put on Great Fireball. It does work well against the Darklurker. We only have 3 usages of it, but there are kind of times where she hovers in the air and this will be good for kind of longer range and does pretty solid damage as well. Given our build, we have a lot of faith in int, so our fire damage is pretty good. We got a maxed out pyromancy flame. So now we want to go to Drangleic Castle, and we unlock the bonfire under Drangleic Castle, and that's pretty much right next to where we need to go. So there is a dark stalker thing in there. Just run past it. And this one is, I think this is where he first activated it. So we get a freebie with this one, fortunately. You don't have to use a human effigy unless you have to retry. So this one, the phantoms are slightly difficult. Especially the first one gives me the most trouble. It's basically a Havel cosplayer. But you fight him on this kind of narrow ledge, and be careful there. That's death on either side of this path, so make sure you're following this path precisely. And so the first encounter comes on this narrow ledge, and I find myself having a little bit of difficulty with it from time to time. The enemies are slightly more difficult in this one than the previous one especially, but as I said, it is the closest one to the bonfire, so see, where's the best place to fight him? See, there's really not much room to maneuver. But if you beat him to the punch, you can pancake him. So I'm going to run past him, get to the other side, get a little bit more room here. And he just Estused. Oh, man. But we got him. Yep, he's gone. Wonderful. The reason why I didn't want to fight him over here is because it's possible that some of these other phantoms can see you and also attack you at the same time, which is not ideal. Whoops, I missed. There we go. This guy over here. Ah, too early. Got that thrust. No, sir. Oh, kind of canceled out the hit I just gave him. I was too early with that one too. Dang it. Oh, jeez. Not good. But, as I said, we're right next to the bonfire, so we can retry this one pretty easy. To effigy or not to effigy? I'm going to effigy. So to reactivate this, we got to give him a human effigy again.
The mouth, if young undead, may the dark.
All right, try this one again, and we'll see. When I get through this, we're going to see how many tries the boss. I mean, this boss could easily take me 5+ tries. I'm really not that great at fighting the Darklurker. And the Darklurker does a ton of damage, has some really good attacks. When you get to a certain point in the life bar, it kind of like splits into two, and they both can attack you. It's all around a pretty dicey fight. I'm going to fight him over here. And hopefully not get double teamed. Oh, dang it. I went the wrong way. My hammer did not go straight ahead. It went like behind me. There we go. All right. Got my souls back. All right, then this other one that comes from over here is the one that killed me last time. Where are you? There you are. Try to not let history repeat itself. He's got these quick thrust attacks, though, that can be a problem. My own timing's not on point. There we go. At least I got him that time. Okay. This guy, there's a hole in the middle here. His weapon's got bleed on it. You see, I'm kind of attacking, backing up, and then right when they get up, attacking again. Definitely need to repair here. Can't remember. Is this where the cauldron is? We have not lit the cauldron yet. We cannot drop down yet. This one, the cauldron is down a separate path. If I can remember how to get there. Here we go. All right, so that's the third cauldron. We got all the enemies in here. So when we fall down the hole, we're going to trigger the fight against the Darklurker. The problem is since there's a load screen after falling down the hole, if you try to buff before dropping down, your buffs are going to cancel when the fight starts. So you have to buff after the fight starts. So you just got to be ready to do it right away. And you might take a hit. I'm definitely going to buff. She is weak to lightning. Honestly, I don't know what the Darklurker even is. I just say it's a she. I have no idea. But anyway. All right, we drop down. All right, got my staff out. Ready to buff. Gonna put Sacred Oath and Sunlight Blade right when we land. This boss is tough. Does a ton of damage. And is very tricky. She has these attacks where she'll put these orbs above her head. If it's a red orb above her head, she's going to shoot fireballs at you. The fireballs that she shoots at you do a ton of damage. It can basically one-shot you. So be very careful, especially if you see that red orb above her head. She also does a darker orb above her head. That's a different attack. She has melee attacks. She does combos of 2 or 3. Her melee attacks are pretty slow and easy to dodge, but her magic attacks are really the ones you want to watch out for. So drop down. As soon as I'm mashing L1 right now to cast as soon as I can. And hopefully she'll let me get it off before. All right, there we go. Very nice. And see, we're doing pretty solid damage. That's the dark orb above her head. Makes a big explosion. Those are her melee attacks. I'm going to heal. Always want to be at pretty high HP. As I said, her combos are very slow, easy to dodge. But about half HP is when she's going to split. Eventually she does stun. Right there's her, she's stunned, so I can get a, well, I'm going to take advantage of that really, sadly. Because I needed to heal. So she's going to split any second now. I'm trying to do as much damage as possible before. Oh, that's a red attack. No, that could be bad. Oh, I got lucky there. I got really lucky there. All right, so fortunately she split very late in her bar, but she can attack with both enemies. So right, the second one had the red orb, so I knew I needed to dodge that attack. And she's done. That fight is, oh, she got hidden after she died. That fight always makes me nervous. Always makes me nervous. Got the Darklurker soul. It can go wrong very quickly. And so, just like the others, jump off the edge and that takes us out of here. All right, and we're back. So after we're done with this, make sure you talk to him.
There is more dark with it. Dark is the mother.
In Great Resonant Soul. And make sure you talk to him. You get the dragon chime. This is the best chime in the game. However, it takes, I think it's 50 faith to use it, which we don't have. It's best if you infuse it for lightning, and it's pretty much the best chime if you're a faith build. You got the 50 faith. This is a real good chime. All right. So we also got the Darklurker soul. And the Darklurker soul is used to get a spell that is required for a trophy from Strayed. I'm going to go trade that in real quick. at the Lost Bastille. Go to Strayed Cell. Need that spell for the trophy.
Well, then, fight.
All right. And with the Darklurker Soul, we can get Life Drain Patch.
Fever, do you really?
And since we've gotten enough boss soul stuff from him, if we talk to him, he gives us stuff. I should have done this a long time ago, but we talk. He gives us this. And we've fought several Forlorn. So if we go to buy item, we fought 4 Forlorn. If we beat another one, we can get his weapon. So we can get the hood, armor, gauntlets, and leggings of the Forlorn. And again, the quantity of the pieces of armor that are available to you at Strayed Shop depends on how many of the invaders you've killed, of the Forlorns you've killed. Which again, the Forlorns are RNG based, but when you encounter them, you have to kill them for the stuff to show up at Strayed Shop. All right, so from here, gonna level up.
Bearer until...
We'll do some more vigor and more endurance. Pretty much gonna be the name of the game from here on out as far as my build's concerned. I'm not gonna take my faith above 36. So here we're just getting, you know, more powerful from an HP perspective, able to hit more times without letting stamina recharge, all that good stuff. So anyways, that's going to do it for now. Hopefully you had a successful encounter with the Darklurker. Very, very tough boss, but a lot of fun nonetheless. Kind of gets the heart pumping. And so yeah, that's going to do it for today. And next time we're going to pick right back up and finish some things out in the main game before we start the DLC. So stay tuned for some more, and we'll catch you next time. Until then, take care, everybody.